Enjoy Salty Miserable Jeff. I do not. It feels much better than the Jundwhirler deck. See, I played it, and I liked it a lot less than Jundwhirler. I think at the very least, not playing Status Statute as a 2 to 3 of is a big mistake. Billy Zane, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Anywho, we are playing Jund Midrange here, which is green-black, looks like splashing Rekindling Phoenix. How many red sources do we have? We got 6, 13, 14. It's probably close-ish to Rekindling Phoenix. I think there's a chance that if we want to splash a double color card like this, we probably want some Incubation Druids in our lives just to, like, make our mana fixing better. I might push some of this around real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna push around a little bit more. I'm gonna swap Land War Elves for Incubation Druid, and I'm gonna put some more Phoenixes in here. Let's do that. Needs more Worm. It probably does need more Worm, obviously. I don't actually think Carnage Tyrant is that good right now, and Worm is kind of absurd. Alright, let's do that. Yeah, the problem is that, like, and it sounds silly to say, but Carnage Tyrant is just small in the format right now because there's Krasis, which are so much bigger. Like, Krasis just scales way bigger than Carnage Tyrant does. Maybe I want some Carnage Tyrants in the sideboard for the Esper matchup, but Esper hasn't been that popular either. Yeah, and the control decks that do exist do have less counters in them. That's true, too. I wonder if no Cinder Vines in the sideboard might also be wrong. Howdy, Vixed. Yeah, I think if you want Carnage Chill, it's in the board, and I don't think there's enough control to warrant those slots. Yep. Alright, well, let's, out of the frying pan into the fryer. Playing against Sultai, let's see how this goes. I believe even a single sub-gift gets you the Gifter Badge, if you want it.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
What? What just... That's fine. We're dead anyways. I clicked on the Phoenix, and it didn't register my mouse click, and then my brain just went to, I already clicked, I must need to confirm what I'm clicking. This seems fine. I don't think I want the Wildgrowth Walker in this matchup. I think I'd rather have Ritual of Soot. Ritual of Soot is pretty good against creases. I decided I wasn't playing blue-green turns. I'm gonna let the person add another deck or I'm gonna send them their money back. It's a deck that's been sitting in there for a few weeks. We've played other turns variations since then. And the turns, I just don't find the turns decks fun to play, and I don't think they make for very good content. So, I decided that I'd rather not play it. I'm gonna bin that. I'd kind of like a better play next turn. I guess I could have kept that because I could just fluke this next turn. If you want to watch someone play blue-green turns, go check out Ali Andrazi's past streams. He plays a ton of that archetype. He played it in the tournament yesterday. There's lots of other streamers that have played it too. Ooh, the old Planeswalker curve. Super rewarded for ditching Vraska's Contempt there.
Okay, so you've got claws. Balance comes.
I think I just want all the birds here. Do I want Vraska? I'm gonna play Vraska plus, actually. Let's just get her going.
Make your captain proud.
I don't think the turns decks are very good. I think anybody saying the turns deck should be banned based on power level is kind of silly. The reason why the turns deck should be banned is because they play miserable games of Magic.
I will be the one to guide my people.
What's my favorite shell for Judith? You can find a red-black aggro deck on my website. That's my favorite.
You'll pay for that.
Not dead yet.
Alright, it's a pretty good draw. I get to do this. I get to Lava Coil their 3/2, and I get to Bedevil their Vraska.
I'll remember this.
here. Didn't need to tap the Druid. Yeah, you're super right. I could have played the Lava Coil using the Forest and the Mountain. It's a good catch.
You won't be needing that.
I mean, you could probably argue Bant Flash was never on meta. Have you heard about my worm? I said a worm. What worm's the word? I said a worm. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Krasis is not in every deck, Tella. That's just like functionally not correct. There's a big difference between a 2-cost card with an X in its casting cost and like a what's it called? A 2-cost artifact. Yes, turns is very similar to KCI. It's not a pleasant user experience. Umezawa's GTA? Yeah, Umezawa's GTA is a better comparison. Wildgrowth Walker. I have to grind through this Hostage Taker, which kind of sucks, but they can't take the Worm at least because they can't play it and recast it while I have Vraska in play. They know about both these Rekindling Phoenixes, and those are going to get to come down. Maybe they sandbag the Hostage Taker until after I play a Phoenix. Nope, just taking my Jadelight, sure. Every turn Vraska ticks up, she like works towards her ultimate, which is nice. The Worm animation is just quite excellent. Have some lands. Have a bigger Wildgrowth Walker. That's the scarier part here. The bigger Wildgrowth Walker is the scary part. That's rough. So trade with your Branchwalker here. Let Vraska go to the fact that Vraska gains 2 loyalty and makes a token every turn is just so powerful.
Show no mercy.
Unfortunately, I don't have one more land here for this Assassin's Trophy. Yes, yeah. In Standard, when GTA was legal, you played for GTA, so you could kill their GTA with your GTA. Like, for GTA to Manrique Gusari was like stock. It was really silly. I feel like we're seeing a good example of why these decks, why Jund isn't a thing that happens in this format. You just get way too buried much too quickly in these matchups. You just can't really do anything to play through these finds and these Hostage Takers and these Krasis. They just generate too many cards. Krasis and Hostage Taker are just much better than anything the red cards can do. We'll play another couple matches, hopefully see how the Jund deck does in other colors, but Smuggler's Copter is the copter people are talking about. Helps this matchup a little. I don't know, like they have Viviens and other stuff that take theater off as well, and just like drawing one more card per turn doesn't really seem that big of a swing. There's so many ways to interact with your card advantage before it actually card advantages. Prefer the term looter scooter. Yep. Why did it loot on block? That's asking the real questions. Yeah, we played a Jund captive audience deck, I believe. You can find it on my website, my YouTube channel. We're playing against Sultai again. Yeah, I think there's probably enough Sultai in the format that you just, like, can't play a deck like this that's gonna be a dog to it. It's one of the reasons why white aggro has kind of a tough time. Thematically, it should loot on attack and rummage on block. Right on time. 2-drop. What is Sultai? Sultai refers to the color combination of blue, black, and green, which is what my opponent is playing. What's best against Sultai? Mono blue is very good against Sultai. It's one of the reasons why that deck is popular. That's true. Maybe they didn't have wild cards to get extra lands and Krisis. Sultai is basically green-black splash Krisis in most builds, so if they have blue sources, they don't need them until much later. Yeah, Sultai loses the mirror 100% of the time. It's terrible. Oh yeah, I guess they play Hostage Taker too. That's true. A lot of the builds play Hostage Taker now. Just because that card's so nuts in the mirror.
Let's tear this. The wilds are my shield.
Show me Krisis. Show me potato salad. Chupacabra, huh? Maybe they are just gold garbage.
I'm a survivor.
This deck feels like it's just worse than playing Sultai Chewy. Rekindling Phoenix is just not quite better than Krisis and Hostage Taker. Ravager Wurm. As much as I love Ravager Wurm. No blocks here. Don't want to block with my Phoenix, then have them Chupacabra the Phoenix Egg.
Meet my newest friend.
Yep, there's the blue source. Show me a 4/4 Krisis. And, like, these small variations on Sultai are one of the reasons why, if you're looking to brew, you generally want to, like, not be building just worse versions of established decks. You want to, like, start with a new idea or, like, try and identify a problem the existing deck has, and then upgrade it from there. Well, that was an excellent draw. Hey, Underplex, thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I wonder if it's even right to take this here, or if I'm just supposed to, like, Vraska's Contempt this so they can't find it back later.
I always survive. You'll see.
The fact that, like, they can just find that back now feels bad as well. Gates does have a great Sultai matchup. If you're expecting to play against a bunch of Sultai, the Gates deck is an A+ choice. It's very good in that matchup. Pirates also has a good Sultai matchup as well. If you want something a little bit off the path, Blue-Black Pirates on my website is fantastic in this matchup. A lot of both fringe and tiered decks that are competitive against Sultai. How's the Gates deck token matchup? It's probably not bad if you're playing my build with Deafening Clarion on the sideboard. Like, 4 Gates in plays plus 3 Deafening Clarion probably gives tokens the business. Well, I'm not talking about best of one. I have no idea how things apply to best of one. Best of one's a different format than best of three. None of the rules apply there.
Embers burn on.
I think Grixis control just doesn't have enough answers to enough permanent types to be reasonable. If you can't be answering enchantments, you need to be kind of aggressive. Yay! The first crisis drew the second crisis. Yeah, I'm off this. I'm gonna concede the match. I'm gonna try and play one more to highlight this deck in a non-Sultai matchup. In fact, I'm gonna play an unranked match and hopefully find a non-Sultai deck there, but this is probably fine if you're not playing against Sultai, but that is completely incorrect, Overkiller. And egotistical, elitist comments like that are not welcome here. It's okay for people to enjoy Best of One, but Best of One is a different format of Magic than Best of Three, and decks that are viable in Best of Three are not viable in Best of One, and decks that have a good matchup in Best of Three are not necessarily going to have a good matchup in Best of One. So it's no different than Modern or Legacy or EDH. Like, all of these different things serve to appeal to different people. And if they don't appeal to you, that's great. But don't, like, harsh someone else's fun just because you don't like what they like. Alright, sweet. White aggro. Let's do it. Yeah, I think I'm in for some removal here. I think there's a lot of good tools for beating Crisis. I'm just gonna trade aggressively here. Can you shed some light on what kind of changes are usually made to Best of Three decks to make them better in Best of One? Well, there are a lot of decks that just aren't playable in Best of One that are playable in Best of Three, just because they're decks that rely on having access to sideboard cards to make them competitive. So, decks that tend to be more interactive tend to be much worse in Best of One, because interactive decks are decks that tend to get better with sideboard changes. Hey, Dzang, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Just no more lands for them. Not going to be able to play through our larger creatures here. Cry, Ritual of Soot, Lava Coil sound great. Trim some of this expensive top end. 64 cards here. Probably trim Rekindling Phoenix, huh? I guess it's good with my sweepers. I didn't attack because I'm the control deck in that matchup. I'm just trying not to die. Do I want to change anything here? Contempt and Bedevil are probably too expensive. Just, like, bring in cheaper removal. Let's give this a go. Yeah, Trophy could maybe go. I don't know. The efficiency on Trophy is appealing, though. It's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Getting a little cold in my office. Get the heat back on. This is a very aggressive start. Probably gonna need to Rip Cry to stay in this. Lava Coil is an excellent draw. Let's just go ahead and kill the Vanguard here. The AC is broken and you're dying. Listen. What's the temperature outside here right now? I think it actually warmed up a little bit today. At 35 degrees right now. Alright. Let's dig for Cry and Ritual of Soot. Probably not even Soot. It's probably just Cry at this point. Tropical weather. Alright, Wildgrowth Walker is a great hit. It means that I can go Walker plus Incubation Druid into Jadelight the following turn. I'm gonna block their lifelink token because it actually takes the threat off the table. This Incubation Druid might be on chump blocking duty next turn. Just like use it as a gain 3. I guess I could turn it into a 3-5 pretty soon. Actually, next turn I could turn it into a 3-5, right? I can play this, turn this to a 3-5, play Jadelight Ranger. Let's see if they have an answer to Wildgrowth Walker here or not. God bless Swift. Oh, magic's easy when you're lucky. And again, just like the big takeaway here is that like while we're winning this, the question I would ask myself is like, did the red cards do something meaningful that Sultai wouldn't have been able to do? And I don't think the answer to that question is yes. I guess this is just like classic Wildgrowth Walker is good territory, right? Basically Siege Rido. I mean, the Explore package is a big part of why what's it called is so good, right? And if we're sitting here thinking like, what card would I really like to draw at this point? I would really like to draw a Hydroid Krasis while I have Incubation Druid in play, but there's not a Hydroid Krasis in my deck to draw. So I guess I'm hoping for Finality at this point. I'm gonna start being aggressive so I can close this game out here. We could draw Phoenix. Drawing Phoenix doesn't really do a whole lot for us, though. It, like, kind of closes in the air, but it's much slower. Like, is Wurm even that good here? Like, we're probably gonna win anyways, but it's just like... just because the Explore package is great. Yeah, could have just been cast down. Yep. All right. We're kind of dying to flying creatures at the moment. I'm pretty sure they are, Diva. I'm pretty sure they're played in person. I think I actually want to trophy... I think I actually want to trophy their flying creature here. Like, I'm killing a token and dealing a damage every turn here. So, like, I think I want to just get rid of this. It could be good to save it for Marshall, that's true. I don't know, I kinda just want to keep my health total high. You know, I should probably be attacking with 2 Jade Lights here. Yeah, they will run out of blockers faster. Like, they'll still have some. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. It's probably 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Their white aggro deck drew 8 lands, and they're dead. Zenos, thank you very much for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I agree, Diva. The format for the arena stuff sounds very reasonable. I think Krasis will ever see Modern play. I don't think Krasis is even good in Amulet Titan in Modern. I think it's just too slow. Like, I'm not sure Krasis is ever better than just, like, having a Primeval Titan in that deck, right? I guess maybe you could say, God, are they playing Sultai and Unranked? At least I could concede if they're playing Sultai and Unranked. I don't like to, like, give up on decks too soon, but this deck just has a Rancid Sultai matchup. So, I'm gonna try and give it one more not Sultai matchup. Rather than just moving on after a half an hour. It could be a Judgmere, you're right. Maybe they're another Jund deck that's, like, been brutalized by Sultai in the ranked queue and has gone into the loving embrace of Unranked. The matchup's bad because Sultai is doing similar things to this Jund deck while having access to the cards Hostage Taker and Hydrate Krasis, which generate far more card advantage than this deck can ever generate. You can't play Sultai. You can't make an archetype like this better against Sultai. You just don't have the tools in these colors to be better. Oh, basic mountain. God bless. They also have Thief of Sanity. Basically, it's all bad for you all the time. Everything sucks and then we die. Sultai climb or make a comeback? What does comeback mean? Was it a thing? I think people, you should disconnect yourself from the idea that you need the validation of a deck putting up results for you to enjoy playing it. You will probably enjoy Magic a lot more if you just play decks that you enjoy playing rather than just, like, needing them to put up a result somewhere beforehand. And, like, if you do need that validation and you want to play a deck that's off meta, like, don't play a deck like Sultai or play a deck like Mono Blue. Like, it's basically pick one. Do you want to play a fringe deck or do you want to play a stock deck? You don't get to do both. I feel like people want this secret sauce where they get to play this stock awesome deck that's also no one else is playing. I've got some bad... What's going on, Deadpool? I've got some bad news. The decks that are good are popular. If a deck is actually good, it will become popular. I'd love to take 4. What's going on, Clown Punch? If we hit all the data, we could play a good deck and it would get popular. Probably, Burgle. Probably. We played Dimir Tempo / Pirates. It depends on what you mean by lately. We've definitely played it recently. I tapped my lands wrong, so I can't Vraska's Contempt this turn. That's incredibly awkward. Should have cast this off of 2 red-green lands, so I could Contempt this and attack for 3. The Pirates deck is one of the decks that has a page on my website, so you can look it up there and see all the times we've played it easily. Do you have a sideboard guide for Green, Black Elves and Modern anywhere? Yeah, that's one of the decks you can find a link to the sideboard guide on my website. Any of the decks on my website that I have sideboard guides written for are linked there. Hey, B. Williams, thanks for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff right now. Thanks for supporting mine. I was pondering the meta movement on the archetype is pretty popular following the first... So here's the thing. I find it incredibly annoying when people talk about things like meta and meta movements and, like, the meta game is a lot more stagnant and changes less than people like to imply it changes. The reality is, the thing that's actually changed isn't the metagame. The thing that's changed most of the time is the anecdotal data in the tiny sample size that you're looking at for a given weekend. Like, sweeping metagame changes are pretty rare. What changes more often than not is the tiny snapshot you're looking at. Remember, 32 decks or 64 decks from an SCG Open, that's like a tenth of the field. We don't really know what the field actually looked like. We just know what this tiny fraction at the very top looked like. No, I don't think that card's very good, Frazzle. I just don't think it solves problems. What's going on, Loodles? Thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And just like, there's so little top spots that like people look at the top week to week and they like, it lets people feel smart to think that they've metagamed something when in reality, like nothing's really changed most of the time. I don't think Cry or Ritual of Soot are very good in this matchup, huh? I think we're just gonna bring in a random Banefire. Maybe a couple of Duresses are fine. We've not played any Murmuring Mystics. Oh, 4-color Hero. 4-color Hero had some Murmuring Mystics in it. Yeah, the formats mostly change when new cards are introduced. Gosh, this hand is so good with a couple of lands. This hand is super reasonable. I forget one of the companies that makes one of the Hearthstone deck trackers is working on an arena deck tracker. So hopefully something like that'll get widespread use at some point. Yeah, I agree, Dimples. I think the metrics for what is healthy in a tournament format is if there's lots of decks, the format's probably pretty healthy. Skewer, Coil, Chain Whirler. Yeah, I don't know, but the metagame in talking about metagames in Magic the Gathering and card games in general is like saying agile development when you're talking to anyone in the software world. They're basically buzzwords to help people feel smart. How do we make it more agile? What does that even mean? What about lead? Please don't mention. And like, at its core, agile has a meaning, right? Like it initially meant something, but it's used as a buzzword, and the way it gets used diminishes the meaning, basically. I'm a project manager, leave my buzzwords alone. What an excellent use of emotes. But, Jeff, I'm smart and thin. I'm gonna jump block here. I think I'm just supposed to preserve my health total. If I take the hit from the Goblin Chain Whirler here, I'm dead to risk factor. How do we paragam shift the meta into a quasi-frontal parabola of fiscal agility? Removal spell. We really want to draw like a Lava Coil here, so I can like Lava Coil this plus play Druid. I think this probably is just another gain 3. I agree. The pink hair makes me look especially agile. Concur. Alright, looking for a removal spell or a land that doesn't hurt me here. Deal. Synergistic broad stroke systems to maximize so we can change agents for the bleeding edge big data. Am I dead? I'm not dead yet. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. Have you heard about my worm? Imagine, I want you to imagine for a second if this Ravager Wurm had gained me 2 life and drawn me 2 cards. How much better off would I be if I was at 4 and had drawn 2 cards here? I'd be much better off, right? We only have to fade 3 more draw steps here, okay? We can dodge a lightning strike, we can... I didn't even get to finish my tagline, Blackwell. Have a little respect. I was giving a tagline and just the worst. Just the worst. No dodging balls. Yeah, if you're a subscriber, you can post a deck list in my subscriber Discord in the proper format section and tag me. If you'd like to see a deck played on stream, you can submit it via my website. You caught me monologuing. Rude. Rude. I cut blue-green turns out of the queue for today, so I think I'm gonna have time to get to one more. Big blue. Oh, big blue's exciting. The big blue deck looks sweet. All right, here we are. Goodbye, friend. Howdy doody. Hey, Night Stars. Thanks for the biddies. I appreciate it. The untapped green sorcerer that doesn't hurt us is an excellent draw. I think I'm actually going to leave this on top of my deck here. It lets this block this, assuming they don't have a removal spell. And then next turn I can Branchwalker plus Duress, which is really nice. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Cummy Pizza. It feels like it took some parts of red-green monsters and some parts of Sultai midrange. It's just like it's trying to do both and doing neither well. So 2 wrap. What this deck is doing feels worse than what Sultai is doing. And it feels worse than what red, green, or Teamer monsters is doing. And, just wasn't a fan. Just like, oh, they're not coming through. I'm sorry, Johnny boy. Thanks for checking out the merch. I'll take a peek at that. In a nutshell, Jund is bad. Sorry, modern players. Yeah. Yep. I just think, at least as far as being a mid-range deck with a Wildgrowth Walker package goes, that's not where Jund wants to be. Add those to Black White Aristocrats. Will do, Night Stars. Thanks for the support. Will there be merch with the Jester except with pink hair? Maybe. Maybe.